Happy New Year to everyone. We are now officially in 2021. Hope it's going to be a great year. Hope we're going to have some great product. And I hope we could all do this together as this year goes on here on Transformer Slag. And we start the new year with a bang, courtesy of Takara and their official Transformers PR Twitter account at TF_PR. And they gave us a nice little message and teaser for the coming year. I translate here loosely. Happy New Year. Thank you for visiting Transformer Products and the Transformer Information Bureau this year as well. The first post of the new year is going to be setting the picture for the next Masterpiece product, Skids, scheduled to be released this year. Imagine, this year. There will be several new Masterpiece products scheduled for this year, one of which will be Skids. With a distinct transformation and wide range of articulation, it is a new work that will be a hybrid version of the masterpieces of these days. We will update information from this time, so please look forward to it. And they gave us some line art of how the Masterpiece Skids more or less is going to look, just pretty much an early line sketch. Now, let's deconstruct this quickly. So number one, we're going to be getting Skids this year of 2021, so a lot faster than expected, as well as other products that are planned for this year. So that's very exciting. The origin of what that is, we do not know yet, although what's interesting is we always heard about Trailbreaker and Hoist getting masterpieces and that being teased, and now we have Skids here, so maybe Hoist and Trailbreaker will show up a little later since they kind of made a little bit of an appearance during Earthrise, so better to put the timing later. That's one assumption. I mean, I could be totally wrong on this, but at the point, we have Skids here, and we have these line art, and I'll say this right now, just looking at the line art and what they talked about a hybrid of the masterpieces of before, I see what they're talking about here primarily because Skids is one of those characters. He's essentially appeared in 2 episodes of Generation 1, and in those 2 episodes of Generation 1, he had 1 line each. So in his entire fictional appearance of Transformers, it could be summed up literally into less than a minute. I'm almost tempted. I think I'm going to do that on my Twitter. I think I'm going to try to find every single scene and line that Skids was in and just sum it up all into one shot. But he was essentially in Season 2 episode Quest for Survival, which was episode 45, I believe. Yeah, 45, where he said robotic insecticide. He was talking to Bumblebee through the monitor. And then in the Season 2 episode Triple Takeover, which was episode 50, that one I do know, they were going to raid this like football stadium that Triple Changers took over, Decepticon Triple Changers, and he said the line, we'll stop them at the 10-yard line. And it was kind of delivered differently, that line, too. He had a different kind of sound. I don't know. I think it was a different voice actor, too. He had 2 different voice actors. I think that's what was the case. And that was it. He had 2 lines. Both of them sounded kind of different, so he doesn't really have a distinct voice. And in traditional Fleero Deary style, where he took the Diaclone toy, which was the original Skids. For people that don't know, he was the release of that design, that car and everything, which was the Honda City. It was put out, the toy. The rumors that we have, and we have in-box examples of this, is Skids was originally a 1984 toy that just came super late in the lifespan of the Transformer 1984 line, and actually ended up in 1984 packaging. And then, of course, he would show up in 1985 packaging, too, and was more well-known to be a 1985 character of the 1985 Autobot Cars line. And he was one of the very first examples of a one-per-case character as a result of that weird and ambiguous way that he was released. Getting to the design in the show and his limited appearances, again going to the Fleero Deary thing, Fleero Deary took that Honda City design, the turbo model specifically, and doing what Sunbow expected of him, to kind of clean it up, simplify it, and also weed out the licensed car out of it so they won't have to pay, and we have the Fleero Deary design of Skids. And it is slightly different than what this masterpiece is showing us here. Specifically, one of the most key features is the original Honda City. On the front end of the grill, it would have a little Honda, I guess we'll call it emblem badge, that was on the left side of the grill for the driver's side of the grill. Obviously, the little fine details too are missing in the Fluoro-Diri design. Ultimately, in the end, such as the bulbous hood and all kinds of little things that if you had the original Skids toy and then you looked at the show model, you'd see there's a big differences there. And now when we look at this Masterpiece sketch, we see a hybrid of the two. A little bit of the Skids model of the toy mixed with some of the Fluoro-Diri design, such as the head design and little things here and there. So it's a little mixture of both of them together, which leads to a final product. We have a little bit of the actual Honda City realism and a little bit of the Fluoro-Diri design to have a happy middle. And that makes me wonder who's the one that's actually behind the designs, because for the longest time it was Kenta Azawa, I think it was Kenta Wakizawa, who was the one who was behind, like, MP Bumblebee, MP Convoy 3.0, like the Bumblebee 2.0, which was MP-45, MP-46 Hound, which, a lot of people, it was kind of hit or miss that one too. MP-51 RC. Now, granted, he wasn't 100% behind the designs, but he was one of the major pushing individuals of it and was used in a lot of the interviews and promotions for the recent Masterpiece G1 stuff. Obviously, Kobayashi is kicking around in the back too, also helping with the designs of this. But this here, because of the way it looks, it has more of a Shogo Hasui kind of vibe of engineering and design going on here. And because of that, I think we're going to get this Skids first, which is going to be more kind of a hybrid of the two, more accurate to how the original car looked. It's a Honda car, so they're going to want to do the Honda license on it, and it's a Japanese car, and has, Masterpiece is a Japanese product. And then probably they'll do a more resculpted, remolded, show accurate one. And what they could even do with that resculpting and remolding is, because hey, they're going to want to get other characters out of this R&D and this design, so you could get Crosscut, you could get all the other characters that come from that too, the repaints, the all kinds of stuff that you could do, and people will dig it. I'm going to post an image here because when this news broke, an individual by the name of That Guy Called Blaster, that's literally his name, That Guy Called Blaster, he did a very nice he just colored in the sketch to kind of give it an idea of how it'll look when it's colored in, matching, again, the original G1 colors. He didn't really match it off of the show model, but more the toy model. So it gives us a better, clear indicator if they decide to go with the coloring in that direction based off of the 1984 and 1985 toy, how it'll look. We don't have an indication of how it would look with the more show colors and color scheme and stuff like that, primarily because the show colors were less of a darker blue and more of a, I don't know how to describe it, like a Huffer blue, I guess. No, Huffer blue's too purple. But you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm going to include some examples and images and stuff like that so you can get an idea. But this is interesting. Again, Skids, I like obscure characters. Skids always had more of a stronger impact in obviously the IDW comics and other continuities. Ultimately, in the end, I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's more well known. If you were a 2000s kid, he was more well known for being a Scion XB alternator toy than anything else in terms of fiction, up until, let's say, like his movie versions and stuff like that too. But I mean, his G1 version, very limited capacity, again, not many appearances, very bold choice, I will say that. But again, kind of cool. I dig it. I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out. And but from what we see thus far, it looks like the next Masterpiece coming up is going to be some kind of a hybrid between show and toy, as opposed to the extremely show accurate depictions that they've been going with the past couple of releases.